Hello, hello, everyone. A few of you have already been on, but for the people who are watching the recording, hello, welcome. We're so excited that you're deciding to listen and to be excited about your journey. And Carrie and I are most excited because this is kind of the beginning of us really formally group coaching and taking people through a program together. We've individually been taking people through programs for some time now. And well, we decided we love working together and we want to take people through together. So
yes. And I think I just have to add to that that part of that is that we do different things. And so I'm just so excited for the complement of what we each do and being able to bring them together so that we get to do these for people with all of our gifts. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. Okay.
Carrie.
I know. You know what happens when my phone's on.
Carrie, if you haven't ever watched a live with us, usually Carrie's phone is recording and it's just like the whole time, bam, 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 with notifications. Like we don't even see ourselves. It's just Carrie's notifications. Anyway, I digress.
Okay.
That's just more about us. And honestly, why we feel so good about taking people through this coaching program and why we want to take people through this coaching program, because we get it. Like we live busy lives too. We live lives where we kind of have to be reminded to continue our journey. We have to be reminded to stay on track. And that's another reason, yet another reason why we want to do this coaching program together and why we want to take you guys on this journey and why it's 6 months long. Because then you can really create this process, this program for yourself, and you can start to create routines while we're helping you through it and as you keep going. Hello, Jason. He just got on with us. Welcome, welcome. And if you guys haven't met Shelly, I know she's not going to be talking, but Shelly is really awesome. And
Shelly is wonderful. We love her. She has been hanging out with us for months, and we love her.
Months and months, and she's been to 2 retreats, just not the last one. Okay, so on with the structure for today. I'm kind of clicking around just a little bit. So we kind of have sort of 6 main areas that we really like to talk about. And the first one, I'm just going to go over 6 of them so Carrie knows, because this is new to her because I just made the site. And then she can kind of catch up. So the first one is going to be obviously 5 elements. You guys all know that I love 5 elements. And for you who are watching that don't know that yet, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how oils not only smell good, but they also help you heal. We're going to talk about soul groups. We're going to talk about manifesting the relationships that you want in your life. Obviously, we're going to talk about gene keys. And then we're going to talk about also tapping into all the emotions that we live, because emotions are really our truest guides. They're not here to keep you in pain or trap you. They're actually here to guide you and help you live a freer life. So that's kind of the 6 ways. And then Carrie can add a few more, but that was my brainstorming.
No, that's super good. That like gets all of it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'll start off with 5 elements. So if you guys have, I have my book right here. It's not the cutest graphic. It wouldn't be my graphic if I was creating a book, but it's sitting right here. So that's what we're going to use. So 5 elements is really a cycle of learning the rhythms of life. The rhythms are also connected to our organs. They're connected to organs, emotions, a bunch of other stuff, which I can't think of right now. Apparently organs and emotions are the most important. And we have these rhythms, these life cycles, seasons. That's the one I was forgetting. They're connected to seasons. And we have this rhythm, this life cycle.
Oh no, Jasmine.
In every single program that we're a part of, we have it in everything. So as we go through the next 6 months, I will be talking a lot about elements and what cycle you're in particular different relationships, what cycle you're in different shadows, and so on and so forth. Any thoughts to add? Any questions for you guys who have already sort of been through a conversation about elements? We'll be taking it to like the next 14 levels next 6 months.
I'm excited. How to use them, what they teach you. how to use them as kind of a guide. And
Yes. Now Carrie's going to talk to us about oils, the oil part of this journey.
Okay, let's see if I can move the speaker thing over to me. I use oils a lot, diffusing, internally, olfactory. They get right into your brain. They're a super great way to, like, for emotions. Like, I can do a whole thing on what oils to use for emotions and grounding, and they're just a super natural way to get certain reactions in your body without having to use medications, things like that. So we will talk a bit about that. And whatever, if people are having anything that is like a physical ailment, something that you're dealing with physically, and you would like to know what's an option, what's an alternative in the oil world, I can absolutely do that. We can do little regimens, things like that. So I can educate you on that. I can give you samples. I can give you little blends. Can kind of look in, see if you want any on your own. Maybe you already have some. What could you be using that could address things that you already have going on? So
I, for one, am so excited. I've been begging for Carrie to teach me more about oils. So secretly, I'm like, oh, yes, I get to learn more about oils because I use them a lot, and mostly I intuitively pick, but there's so much when you kind of take that intuition and you start to turn it into more inner knowing, then you can, or not inner knowing, more outer knowing and more understanding, then you can just be more, what is the word I'm looking for? More purposeful, and they can just help you that much more.
Yeah.
Because not only does that intuition help, but you can start to really truly understand, which is very, very exciting. And why I'm like, oh, I'm just going to put oils here. And then.
Well, and there's lots of combos. And I had brought some stuff that I could have made some combos for people this weekend, but then we just really didn't end up having time. So there's lots of different things. Anyway, we can go into that.
Well, and the power of the combos that Carrie is talking about is, well, we understand oils are not cheap. All things that are good are not. Let's just be honest. We all know that, right? And so when we can learn to make combos and we can kind of work, we can all help each other as a group there, it just costs a lot less money for you.
Yeah.
And it can be really, really specific
and
for.
Be super effective and powerful.
Probably even more so, I would say.
Well, and especially more so than actually when you look at how much you use versus a medication. Like when you look at, okay, this bottle is $28, but I only use 2 drops and that's going to last like a year, depending on what you're using, you know? So you use such a little amount, especially where some of them, you use them you combine them with coconut oil or an almond oil or something like that to dilute it a little bit and then still have it be effective and potent. So really, like, versus going to Walgreens and paying $17 for a bottle of something that you're going to use 12 capsules and then leave it in your closet. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I also am excited for you to teach us about adulting and only using 2 drops, because I'm like, yeah, I work that thing like a salt shaker, and I'm like, I really don't need that much. But the part of me that's like, just keep going. It's hard for me to remember that this little tiny 2 drops really is super, super powerful.
It's true. It is the truth. Like if you're using lemon oil, are you using, like, you really don't need more than like 2 drops in your water. Do you use like 8?
18 drops.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like a full on whole lemon in there. Like I'm like, yeah. So
2 drops, two drops, maybe 3.
If you guys get anything from this call, 2 drops of lemon in your water. I love lemon. So the reason Carrie's bringing that up, and I guess it just goes a little deeper into cycles and how oils can help. In the morning to get me going, I was working with a nutritionist for a long time, and lemon water, like at room temperature, really helps your digestive system. And so I've been doing that for some time now. And now I've added the beauty of shungite. So now my water includes a shungite stone, lemon, 18 drops, but I'm going to be better, only like 2 drops. And then I just drink that in the morning, and totally has really helped my body digest and flow through everything, because your body needs that. It needs that water, that lemon and that stone in the morning time.
I've done a lot of nutrition study and work. And so if people have stuff like the inside of your body, like getting yourself cleaned out is going to elevate your vibration. And that's what we want to do. So doing the things that are natural, Ayurvedic, whatever, that help you be to this higher, vibration, which means I won't be bringing cookies to this coaching program. So not that it's that program.
Scary.
What's up?
Those cookies were so good.
They were good, huh? Okay, we digress. Go ahead. What's next?
The next thing that we're going to talk about is soul groups. Oh, Carrie and I had a really fun conversation about soul groups yesterday, but I won't go into it. Soul groups are amazing. I think that in this world, we're taught a lot about this fairy tale of finding your perfect match and finding your perfect person, and that person's going to be everything and anything for you, and all you need is them. I mean, that's kind of a lot of Disney movies, right? And a lot of the fairy tale books that we're told. And I'm kind of here to bust that myth for you. I'm here to share with you that you actually have a whole tribe of people who you have created contracts with before you came into this lifetime. And Carrie and I are probably in that group of people. My dog's excited. We're in that group of people for you. And these people come into your life maybe for just a moment. Maybe Carrie says this better. How does it go?
Oh gosh,
like sorry.
A moment, a season, or a lifetime.
Thank you. These people come in and out of your life, and you can have different levels of excitement about them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're supposed to be your soulmate. That doesn't mean they're supposed to be just one of you and that's it. And now for whatever reason, you're all of a sudden cheating on all the other people that you've had a relationship with. There's a whole group of people who you get to have connection with. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying that you get to hump everyone and that's okay. And what I'm saying to you is that you have a group of people who you really get to connect with. You get to have different levels of connection and commitment with them. So that's what I'm really excited to explore with you and to really talk you through.
This lends itself so well to the group dynamic of being able to have this as a conversation and getting different people's experiences and what different people bring to the table. So I'm excited to have this as a conversation with a group of people who are all in, and it also is this very safe space, because none of these conversations will ever be made public. They are only for the people who are in this group. So this can be something that might be a little, as we get into any of these conversations, they could feel a little vulnerable, and that's what we're here for. Like, this is no longer like the free public Facebook group. This is where we're getting like really real with each other and helping each other through these things so that we get to move through them. They get to move through us to get us to the other side, which is awesome. That's where all the freedom, all the light, all the joy is on the other side of moving through these things that we need to figure out together. So anyway, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, don't be sorry. That's awesome. I love that. And I think it also really lends itself to healing different relationships that you've had in your life and being able to kind of have a proxy. So say you've struggled with your mother, or you've struggled with a friend, or you've struggled with exes or whatever. As we work through a group and we all begin to think of the trust that all of you guys have been to retreats, think of the trust that you've developed in 3 days. Imagine the level of trust you'll have with someone when you've worked with them for 6 months. Imagine the work, not only that you can do with Carrie and I, but with each other, and the work that we get to kind of do too. So it's really kind of fun. And this last weekend's retreat was very much a reminder of that for me, that we all get to work and flow through each other, and we get to, if we're open and we're honest and we allow the communication to happen, we get to do a lot of healing with the assistance of someone else, which I, for one, very much love. Okay, so the next part, Carrie, is your favorite, manifesting what you want in life.
Yes. Okay. So those of you who were there this last weekend, you can take my condensed version, but I get super excited about this because I think that in society in general, like in art, within our communities in general, we don't spend as much time as we could really defining what we want. We just go about our lives and allow things to just happen to us. We have our jobs, we have our family, and we just allow things to unfold as they do. And what I want to highlight is that the law of attraction happens whether you are intentional or not. So things are happening and being drawn into your experience. Just you could have so much more control over that. So getting people to really start to decide and maybe listen and be super intentional about what you want to happen. Like, this is the relationship I want to have. This is the experience I want to have in my personal life. This is what I want my work life to look like. When we do business coaching, we get people to define, what hours do you want to work? So maybe right now I'm working all these hours because I'm starting my business, but I really only want to be working on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings. Okay, get really intentional about what that looks like so that that's what the universe can deliver to you, are people who want to meet with you or take advantage of your services within those hours. So if you don't want to be working Saturdays and Sundays, you don't have to. So in so many elements, we want to define what it is you want to be a part of your life and then get it. So, yeah.
It's all about co-creation and realizing that you can co-create the life that you want. You are 100% able to decide and use your focus and your intention on creating that. And in this whole course, we're using that kind of power of manifesting to start to manifest different relationships that you have in your life, a different relationship you have with yourself. That's what we're working on. That's what we're creating. And I'm assuming, and I'm feeling like every single class that we're going to do, we're going to talk about, okay, what are you wanting to manifest? What are you wanting to create? How can we go about it? How can we move the blocks that are stopping that from happening for you? And how can we help you understand that you are truly worthy of that, which I think is the biggest thing. Knowing that you are divine, knowing that you are worthy.
That is huge. And if we have to work on moving that block and getting you to that place where you know you are absolutely worthy, regardless of what you do, regardless of your efforts, your achievements, anything else, you are worthy of having the things that you want. So I'm here for those conversations and helping people, get to that place. And it's a journey. It will not happen in the first or second time we have these conversations. You will find you'll probably bump up against blocks and it will be super uncomfortable and it will feel like you maybe want to give up, and we're not going to let you do that. So expect that some of this stuff will feel uncomfortable. But again, like I said, at the front end, moving through that, the other side allows you and offers you so much once you move through what's uncomfortable.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a moment in this class, in this course, in this journey, whatever you want to call it, where you're going to be like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm just going to prepare you for it now. And we're not going to let you, because that's what we're here to do. And that's the reason you have us. Otherwise, you would be doing it by yourself. And I challenge you to just, as we will guide you through it, and to be really honest with us and share with us when that does happen for you, because every single person I've coached has had that moment where they're like, I'm done. I would like to go back to sleep now. Thank you very much. See ya. It happens, and it's totally okay. It's totally natural as we're moving through this flow and this connection that we have with the earth and the rhythms of which we go into. There's this part where we're going to get to grief, and we're going to get to this releasing and letting go. And for most people, that is the hardest part. When you have to start to let go of things It's going to be hard, especially the first time that you do it. But as you continue to do it, you realize that it doesn't really change your life that much. And what it does change is it changes for good. It's not like you have to let go of every single thing and you have to decide that you're moving into a different house and you're going to have different friends. And that's not what we're asking for here. You don't have to do all that. And I think that's what people get a lot in their brains, is that we're going to totally transform their life and nothing from their old life is going to stay, which is just not true.
And if we do the work well, if you do the work well, you don't have to revisit it. It gets done. It's like, it's done. You let go of it, you move on. So there's no, oh, when it comes back later, we'll do this again. No, let's just do it right the first time and move on, and it doesn't come back.
Do it and be done.
I loved that Jasmine told me yesterday that when she was kind of talking about some stuff that she'd gone through, and we'd done a session like early on when we first met. And what did you say? You were like, it hasn't come back. Like, I felt differently about it ever since we did that. And we kind of moved that block and those emotions. It's just stayed changed.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I'll totally share about that. I wasn't sure. We talked about it a lot yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, Carrie, which one are you talking about? I'm like, where is she leading me on this? Yeah. So Carrie did a tap session with me eons ago, like over a year ago now. And I had just had a really kind of cruddy outlook on a couple relationships in my life because of some big things that happened. And she shifted a little bit. We did one session. That's it. We only did one session. And over time, I realized that I haven't cut that relationship out. I haven't really done a whole lot more work on that relationship, but it has slowly started to transform with that person and I didn't have to cut them out, which is really beautiful because it wasn't an option for me to cut that relationship out. It was what it was and I couldn't get rid of it. So I had to go through it, and Carrie kind of guided me through it in a really quite gentle way, if I'm being honest. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't painful. It wasn't anything. It just was what it was and allowed me to feel. So yeah, it's really beautiful without getting too much detail. I was going to go deeper and then I realized, oh, this is going to go super live and I'm not really interested in sharing that in a super live
gloss over it. Okay.
Format. But I will share it more as we get into our individual coaching. I will be happy to share. Okay. So the next kind of block for us point is the Gene Keys, which I feel like I've been talking about them so much, but they really are, they're not going to be the whole part of this. Obviously you've seen there's 5 other things we're going to talk about, 5 other points that are super, super powerful. But what I love about the Gene Keys is that they are the map. They're kind of the map as we work through and we start to try to manifest our truest life. These are the blocks that are probably going to come up for you. And when we get to really understand the blocks, we talk all the time. I don't think we've ever done a video where we didn't talk about awareness and how important being aware truly is for you. So the Gene Keys, notice how this book is not the shadow keys. Mm-hmm. Because the shadows are just a tiny, tiny part of it. Shadows are just bringing the awareness that we struggle with it. But then we get to talk about the beautiful gifts that each of those shadows are holding for us once we can kind of move out of them. And then finally, we get to talk about the vibrational power of those shadows. Again, once we realize that they don't control us, they don't own us, they aren't everything for us, and we get to move up and we get to be open and allow the flow to happen, we get to manifest exactly what we want, which is really, really beautiful and really, really exciting. Any other thoughts on Gene Keys, Carrie?
Nope. I'm just excited to do it. I'm excited for the map that it is, for the opening, like picking all the things apart and working with them. So I'm excited.
Yes. And the 6th part of this and how we coach is tapping into our emotions. And I use the word tapping specifically for Carrie, but we both really, really do connect with the emotions that we have. Our emotions, 100% are our biggest guides. Our emotions, when we learn to listen to them and we learn to really know them, feel them, and understand them, will guide us to greatness. They're not trapping us anywhere. They're not. They're our guides our soul, this lifetime, was not meant to be a struggle. We were not meant to be angry. We weren't meant to be sad. We weren't meant to be jealous. We weren't meant to grieve all the time. We were meant to feel and live peace and, quite frankly, neutrality. We're meant to kind of float through life with a sort of ease that goes with just being.
Which can be the case. And I feel like a lot of people don't think that that's possible because they see themselves as always living in chaos or going from so much emotion to another experience with so much emotion. And that doesn't have to be the case. Like, as we teach you meditation and that becomes a part of your life and a practice that you use on a regular basis, it really just calms down your nervous system so that you are in such a better place to handle all the things that are going to constantly be going around you. Life will continue on as it always has, which will involve drama and chaos and contrast and experiences. But what changes is you, each of us individually. And as we pay attention to our emotions and we get just better and better at moving through them and not allowing them to trigger us, because we have all these stored things that just get stored in our body. And then we get triggered super easily because we've been there before. We remember what that feels like. And it takes us right back there. But as we move through and process these things, we just get better and better at really being kind of like the calm in the storm. I'm trained in transcendental meditation, and one of the things that and I think that this goes for a lot of meditation, but the visual that they use in explaining what it's like is that if you do a cross section of the ocean, up on the top of the ocean is all of this chaos, and that is the life that we all live in, right? Waves, big waves that move us, all these things that happen around us. And if we were in a little boat, like, we'd be constantly tossed, and that's where we live. But as you practice meditation and learn to go inside and quiet your mind, quiet your nervous system, all that stuff, you go down to the bottom of that ocean where everything is just calm and quiet and serene. And the more time you can spend there nurturing and calming your nervous system, the more that when you come back out, you get to hang on to that in more and more and more of your regular life. And you become less of this boat that's getting tossed, and you just become this presence that people and things happen around you. And you have so much more ability to be resilient to what's happening around you. I hope that wasn't too long of an explanation. So
anyway. Amen. Well, and as you're explaining to that, I just think of, like, if we're living on the surface and we're living out in our aura and we're living in all the crap of all the other people, not only do we have our own shadows, but everyone else does too. And then we have this, rhythms and flows between all of that. It is crazy. Imagine, of course, we're being tossed all over the place. We're living in all kinds of energetic fields. We're not just living within our own. And we got enough going on here. We don't need to live in all of that. Mm-hmm. And the not crappy, I guess it's crappy and freeing thing is we can't heal all this other stuff. We can only heal here. And so when we can heal here and when we can feel the power of here, it's really beautiful and super amazing.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it all. So those are the 6 kind of main things that we're going to be talking about, but there's so much more, as you guys who have been.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. So don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We'll take it a bit at a time. That's plenty of stuff. I mean, but we'll take in everybody else's, sorry, go ahead.
There's so many ways that we can help you heal is what I was getting at. And there's so many tools that you're going to learn in this. And it's not, I think when people learn tools, it's like, I think of it as everything that we're going to teach you is in addition to these 6 main things, these 6 main frameworks. Everything else that we're going to teach you is just making those greater, making your understanding of those systems a little greater as you go on into your journey. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm really, really excited. And I'm hoping that you guys are excited too, and that you get to see the power of taking a moment in this set, I kind of want to take a page from Carrie's book and say, let's just take 1 second here. And as you're listening to this video, imagine where you could be in 6 months. Like, just take a second and just really envision, where could I be? Where could my relationships be in 6 months? If I really dedicated time, thinking of remembering how far you got in 3 days, think of how far you could come in 6 months. That's so powerful to think about. I think if you've known anything about Carrie and I and Andrea, we built this entire business in a year. We have flowed through so many different things in 1 year. You're doing this for half of that time. And you guys can do it. Like I know, because I've been there. I've been you, and I've been through all this flow, and I've been through what it feels like when you have real intention of growth. I mean, sometimes it can be really frustrating. Sometimes it can be scary, but I am so grateful that I had people coach me and I had a team with me to get through that time for me. And that's what we want to be for you, because we've been there and we know, and we can help you. We know, and we can help you get to flow.
Yes.
We can help you get kind of deeper down in that ocean, which is really exciting. Okay, so that's kind of the fun part. Now we have to get to the business a little, and to how do you do this? You're ready, you're willing, let's do this. Where do I click? Where do I sign? How much am I signing for? And that is, I'm excited, because when Carrie and I individually coach, sometimes it's a lot for people. It's a lot of money. And that's why we decided we wanted to do this coaching program together, because it allowed us to coach more people, which means we get to do it for less than what we would normally coach people for. So for this program, it is $3.99 a month. $3.99 a month. And I want to tell you that it seems like a lot, but think of what you're getting. So we're going to kind of frame out what you're getting. And that is, you get it. We're going to have group sessions every single week. And if you can't make it to those sessions every single week, they will be recorded so that you can. There'll be a bit of a chat, like a private chat, so that all of us can talk together all the time throughout the week. Oh, I was wrong. Sorry, guys. It's $2.99. Carrie just corrected me, and yes, it's $2.99.
Yay! Woo! In 2 minutes, you just got a discount.
You got a discount. She's right. I was thinking of something different for a second. $2.99. $2.99. You get a discount of an hour. Carrie saved it. She sent me a secret text message. $2.99. So I go back to it, $2.99, and you get the 4 sessions with both of us. So we'll both be coaching the 4 sessions.
So every
week
we'll have a group session. Every week there's a group session.
Yeah, every week. And again, if you can't make it in the time that we decide, and we will take into account everyone's schedule as everyone starts to fill in the program, when those sessions will be in the day and what day they will be. You also get to have 2 individual sessions in the month. So if you think about that, every other week you get to have an individual session, depending on your schedule. You might be going through some craziness and you want to have 2 individual sessions back to back. That's kind of fun. And we'll be able to flow into that every month, kind of where you fit. So you'll get a session with me and you'll get a session with Carrie, which is really beautiful. And I love that, because I like to have sessions with Carrie.
And those are very non-structured. As far as that does not mean that your session has to be specifically about what we've talked about in the last week or 2 weeks or whatever. It can be it will be whatever it is that you are needing at the time. So
yes.
Very
flowy, because it's not about us. It's not about what we want to teach you. It's about what you want to receive.
what
It's
you're
about the information that you want to get and what you need in the time. So we are, I think everyone here, at least that is live with us right now, totally understands that's how we roll. We're not interested in creating work for funsies. We want to help you grow, and we're not playing around with, oh, well, I want to teach this even though you need this. No. We're going to get into it, and we're going to get into it. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so we talked about the weekly sessions. We talked about the individual sessions. Also, and you also get meditation group for free. So you get to come to all of the meditation classes that we have in the studio. There are sessions that are like special events, and those ones you'll have to pay for, but all of the normal weekly, like Carrie has her Tuesdays, I have my Wednesday and Sunday, and then we're adding more and more stuff to the schedule with other people. You get to come to all of that too. So you could be hanging out with us every day a week for $2.99.
I hope that makes people excited. Makes me excited. It makes me excited that people are going to get the opportunity to start to really build relationships with people in this group. And I don't know, I did a live yesterday about friends, and I just feel like people are starving for deeper relationships and deeper connections with people. And this is an opportunity to do that and your own personal growth at the same time. So makes me super excited.
Yeah. So if you're ready, if you're into it, for the next like 10 minutes or so, message Carrie. You can always message us and let us know that you're into it, but we will adult here in a second, and we'll get the link up on the website so that you can join in on the website. It's just, will take us a second to get the back-endy stuff ready for you to click the link. But if you're interested now, just message us so that we know, and we can make sure that you get it. The link is My Meditation Collective / I want to make sure I say this right. I think it's / group healing. But if you just go to mymeditationcollective.com and then click on services, it's the top one. I'm going to, Carrie, if you want to say anything while I'm looking to make sure
that that's. I was going to say that for anybody watching the replay of this, and for those of you who are here, like, this is a limited thing. So we are taking a limited number of people to do this so that it stays the size that we want it to be, so we can accommodate all of your individual sessions, as well as give you all, make sure that within our group sessions that we're having, that they aren't too big. Yeah. So I want to say, did we decide 10 or did we decide 15?
15.
Okay.
15 is what we decided. 15. So it's $2.99 for all that stuff, for the weekly session with Carrie and I. That's really focused on the growing, for your 2 individual sessions that you get to have with us, and then also for meditation group. And it is mymeditationcollective.com / group coaching. That will be where the adult stuff is, and where the link will be to join as soon as we get off this call and have a second to put that all together.
Okay, cool. If we are good with that, do you have anything else? Because I could stop recording and see if we have any questions.
No, I think we're good. If you're listening to this recording and you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask us. We are super available. This is for you, and we don't want you sitting in your house like, oh, I wonder about this or that. Ask us a question, please.
And our plan is to start next week. We're talking about Thursdays. So a week. Got a week to get signed up. We'll do some chatting with you, make sure we know everybody well, and get going. So
yes. And one more thing before you stop recording, Carrie, we are not going to be accepting people once we get started. You will go with your group all the way through. We've discussed opening up another group in 3 months to start them through, but you have to sign up in the next week. Otherwise, you will not make it in with this group of people.
Right. Be in the next round. So it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. And I truly feel like this was inspired. Like, I was kind of thinking about it. Jasmine was kind of thinking about it. And when we both brought it up, it was like, yes, this is exactly what this should be. This is exactly what we need to be bringing together. So we rely heavily on intuition and guidance, and just know that everything that goes into this, we will be leaning on that, and we will be bringing you stuff that is, you know, inspired and from all of our learning and our own work. And we will be leaning in and asking for guidance and direction to bring you guys what you need.
Yes. Hey, well, we love you guys, and thank you so much for hanging out with us for the last, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. And we hopefully will see you in the group.